how flooding is caused by the rise in water level. To understand this, the first thing we need to do is to look at the map of Nigeria showing the high plateau and the lowlands. As you know, there have been a lot of cases of flooding in different parts of the country and, of course, across the world. So now I'm going to use this satellite map and computer illustration to simulate what happens when the water level rises to a certain height. There's a website that we're going to use to see what happens when the water level rises. You find that from floodmap.net. So here, it's a real satellite map as shown here, and what it will do is to show you what happens when the water level rises to a certain meters. From what we are seeing here, if you watch on the left hand side, you see 397 meters. So what that means is that you can see that several places in the continent is being flooded. The blue area on the right hand side shows areas in the world that are being flooded as a result of the water level rising up to 397 meters. So I'm going to beam my searchlight to Nigeria. So I will type Nigeria, then I will type locate. So the satellite map will now beam a searchlight to Nigeria. So you're going to see the map of Nigeria very soon. Now this is a real life satellite map. Then we're now going to play around with different values when the water level rises to certain numbers and areas in the country that will be. So the map is trying to load, and you've noticed that on the left hand side, I have not changed the total, the water height, the elevation, the height, or the water level is still showing 397. So while it's at 397, you can see that almost 80% of the country will be flooded on the right hand side. So I'm going to change that value to something smaller so that you see what happens. So when the water level rises to 397 meters, almost 80% of the country will be flooded. So I'm going to change that to 0 first of all. When it's at 0, you notice that the blue areas will all disappear. So water will be on its own level, and the dry land will be the land will be relatively free of any kind of flooding. So I now change it to 80 and I click on set. So when you click 80, you now discover that the coastal region will now begin to be flooded, and the water now rises over to the River Benue and River Niger. When it's 150 meters, the water rises further up into the country. So you can see that other areas to the Niger side and of course the far north will also start experiencing flooding, and of course a lot of states in the south part, including Lagos, Benin City, Warri, Onitsha, and even Port Harcourt, Calabar, and of course Benue State and Kogi State will all be flooded. So this is really what happens when the water level rises. So how do we mitigate this? We broadcast from weather experts on what to do when the water level rises in order to safeguard their products. Thank you.